Episode 115, The Open Mic Show. What is my backstory that led me down this path of making daily tutorials, and what does success look like for me? Well, you are listening to episode number 115 of Mike Murphy Unplugged. Learn, create, move forward. I am your host, Mike Murphy. I'm a one-man band. I'm a technology junkie. I love helping people figure things out, and I am really excited to be here with you today. The goal of Mike Murphy Unplugged, it's to help you learn what you need to know in order to create online content so you can move forward in business and in life. So welcome to this episode 115, The Open Mic Show. What is my deal? I have been asked this question many times in my life, but 2 times in the past month on social media. So I thought today would be the perfect episode to feed the curious minds and update my About Me bio. So today is more of a story time episode, if you will. First, the abbreviated backstory. What has led me to want to teach people online? Then I'll jump into the present day. What the heck am I doing making daily content and daily tutorials? And what is my future game plan? And I'll conclude with my outlook and goals for the future, which ties directly into the question I got earlier this month about what my ultimate purpose is for showing up every day. What does success look like for Mike Murphy LLC? The backstory. If I close my eyes and think of some of my childhood memories, the ones that stick out, I usually see myself playing sports, being active, and also doing mind stuff like playing cards, doing puzzles, watching game shows, and talking books with my mom. I was also very into music, movies, and writing always came easy for me. Figuring things out and being interested in audio, video, and writing. I loved school. I loved learning. I never really cared about what, because my interest in the topic was always temporary. I liked the act and the excitement of taking on something new. And once I had my fill, I started all over again. I consider myself a lifelong learner, and is one of the reasons that I love living in college towns. I'm motivated and fascinated by people who are curious and like to think and be creative. I entered college with no clue what I wanted to study or do, a theme that has been with me for as long as I can recall. But I loved every minute of the college experience. I loved the feeling of living on my own. I loved going to class and studying. And I especially loved traveling around the country with my buddies, going to Grateful Dead shows and countless other musical acts. I moved out west after college graduation still with no clue what I wanted to do, but my curious mind and hunger for knowledge and creativity and exploration was always a driving force, even though I never realized it. I worked so I could play or go travel, and my only requirements were that I lived in beautiful places, preferably with a college or university, good bookstores, and a good music scene, and a very high quality of life. I always felt happy and content as a wanderer and explorer and student of life, but I could never silence that voice within me that kept telling me that I had something special in me to do more, or as Steve Jobs says, make a dent in the universe. Even though I loved working as a bartender, I was good at it. I made a ton of money. External and internal pressures say that a cum laude graduate with a master's degree must seek a job they do not like and make less money. I scratched the itch. I dipped my toe in a corporate job, and it took me about 5 minutes to realize that it was not for me. And one of my strengths, I think, is that I will not settle in a bad situation for too long. And I also have no fear when it comes to moving on. I would not say I'm spontaneous, but I am extremely resourceful and adaptive, and I always know that I'm going to land on my feet. And I also know that I will likely never have a job that requires dress shirts, khaki pants, and ironing. I am a great problem solver, I think, except when it comes to my own. That is natural, and especially when I get questions like these. What is your passion? What do you want to do with your life? What is your life calling? And what are you really good at? For most of my life, I honestly did not know what I really wanted to do in life as far as career, and it has stressed me out for a long time. I've always had a really strong work ethic, and I knew that I could do anything I set my mind to, but I just did not know where to put my focus. Why is this so hard? How can someone have so many interests and skills and not be good at anything? I know I'm not alone in this self-discovery issue, but I am not one to give up on trying. Self-awareness is more than a foofy buzzword. I am learning that it is the key to everything, and probably the thing that I worked hardest on in the past 2 years. But first, let's fast forward. After spending many years in Colorado playing and working hard, I moved to Florida to help a friend grow her photography business, and I was pretty excited about this because I have always had an entrepreneurial itch for one, have also been into photography for as long as I remember, and to this day, I've never traveled anywhere without my camera. With this studio job, I had all of my favorite things that I never realized were so important to me, but I sure do now. My job was to wear all of the hats and be creative and learn new things and to solve problems and to help and educate people. I also wore flip-flops to work and still do not own an iron. I spent 8 to 9 years learning business, accounting, marketing, IT, networking, setting up backup systems and servers, web, graphic design, audio, video, photography, lighting, gear, Photoshop, all of the Adobe products. Not to mention constant Mac and iOS education. I spent 10 hours a day at work listening to Creative Live and Lynda.com classes in the background and podcasts, all while getting better at editing and design and retouching, working in Photoshop all day. When I went home at night, I spent a few hours playing with my camera on the beach. My wind down time and my relaxation time included about 4 to 6 hours of taking Lynda.com tutorials and classes, so I could come back to work the next day and apply what I learned in the business. I was a tutorial junkie by choice, and I was learning things that I really enjoyed and got to practice all day. I loved it all. I felt like I was a kid in a candy store because of all the learning and creativity and helping people and getting pretty darn good at tools that I've always wanted to learn and that I know are going to be valuable skills to know in the future. So where does education and teaching come into play? Well, I was never very conscious of it, but for as long as I can remember, I've always been the kind of go-to tech support guy for friends and family, and pretty much anyone over the age of 70. There were clients at the studio. They would pretend to stop by for a photography-related question, but they really had a question, or they wanted me to fix their iPhone or sync their computers, etc. And some people light up when they see me walk into a restaurant or bar. I think they're all happy to see me, but it's really, I'm just going to save them a trip to the Apple store. And you know what? I wouldn't want it any other way. It makes my day to explain to someone how to share a photo via AirDrop or tell someone which camera or microphone they should buy or how to FaceTime with their grandkids. I love to teach, and even more, I love to share what I know with people when I know it will help them save time or make them smile or help them get unstuck. What's obvious to me is amazing to others took me a very long time to understand and realize, but that is what led me to what I'm doing today. I like when people ask for my help, and I like it even more when I am able to help them. So let's move on to present day. What's my deal? What the heck am I doing? Good questions considering I have now created and uploaded content for 792 days in a row. Never missed a day. I have made one video per day for 381 days straight. What's my deal? I started making things to help me figure out what my thing was. I also started making things every day because that is how you get great at something. You practice, and then you practice, and when that gets hard, you keep going and you practice some more. And this goes on, and why most people quit things. It is really hard, and it takes a lot of patience, and it takes a long time. And after 2 years of making daily content, I have learned a lot about myself, and I've gotten exponentially better at everything. And most importantly, I have figured out that I am doing exactly what I should be doing, creating online content and teaching people. My focus is on teaching people how to create online content to build their personal brand or business or do their thing. This includes learning how to podcast and learning how to produce and edit video and sharing the latest trends in social media and sharing my knowledge of industry-leading tools like Adobe Creative Cloud that are going to give them the competitive edge, give you the competitive edge, the skills of the future. I think one of my superpowers is my intuition and natural ability to understand what people need. I think the main reason that I was good as a bartender and in the service industry in general is that I can instinctively anticipate what people want before they even realize it. The definition of good customer service. My gut has always been good, and showing up every day and putting in the hard work has boosted my confidence to another level as I am now really learning to trust it even more. Technology is moving fast. We know this. Faster than most people realize or are willing to admit. The times they are a-changing. Yet it does not feel that fast or overwhelming or confusing to me because I am educating and pushing myself. And like Wayne Gretzky said, I am skating to where the puck is going to be, not where it is now. The skills that I am developing and sharpening today are my investment in myself in the future. I am building the foundation to a learning environment and body of work that people are going to find themselves scrambling to learn very soon. The future looks bright for creatives and educators. I plan on being at the top of my game, and there is plenty of room for you too. What does the future hold for me and Mike Murphy LLC? Simplicity and happiness, with enough money to keep on creating and enjoying life. That's my prerogative. I am creating the life I want, period. I want to learn and create for a living and to share my knowledge. And while doing so, I hope to inspire people and motivate people to take a chance on themselves by leading by example. I created this podcast to keep track of my journey and give me a platform to find my voice, figure things out, and share my process and the tools along the way that will help you and others move forward. Just like when I left for college, I had no clue what I was doing when I started this journey, and I'm not entirely sure now how the end of the story is going to play out, but I do know that I am not going to stop trying to be the best that I can be and make a positive impact on others in some shape or form. Might not seem so obvious to everyone, but the only person that I really need to convince that I am doing the right thing is myself. And going all in on yourself is always the right thing. As Albert Einstein said, I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. I thank you for joining me today. I hope you join my one-man band, and together we can learn, create, and move forward. Cheers.